What is up, everybody? Matt Gajewski here, back again with the Awesemo Fantasy channel, talking some NFL draft prospects ahead of the 2022 NFL draft. And today we are talking tight ends with Trey McBride coming out of Colorado State. Before we get started, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all other content goes live. We are also brought to you today by Underdog Fantasy. And if you don't know Underdog, they have all sorts of contests available to you. They have best ball drafts, live drafts, and pick'em contests where you can win up to 10 extra entry fee. If you use the promo code Awesemo today, you are going to get a match deposit bonus up to $100. So make sure to check out Underdog Fantasy. Diving into today's prospect, again, we have Trey McBride coming out of Colorado State, the number one tight end in this class, widely reported. And he's a very interesting prospect to look at. Overall, when we look at size, he's 6'4", 246, so a little lighter for a tight end, but still very good size for him. He ran a 4.56 40-yard dash, jumped 33 inches in the vertical. Very athletic prospect, and he's still just 22.4 years old. We've seen a lot of older prospects recently at the tight end position, so getting some youth here with Trey McBride is solid. Overall, level of competition does leave a little bit to be desired playing in the Mountain West, but he turned in a phenomenal season this past year. 90 receptions, 1,121 yards, just one score. But as we'll get to, this is a team that runs the ball a lot in the end zone, in the red zone. But he still had a 34.5% target share, and most of this was coming inline, 20% slot rate. So he's an inline tight end that can be flexed into the slot if needed, or if that is where we can find some advantageous matchups. But overall, head coach Steve Adazio, he is run focused to say the least. This team only passed the ball 43.9% of the time. They were 87th in pass rate, and that was because they trailed in some games. This is a coach that loves to run the ball. So McBride is definitely somebody who has experience run blocking. When we dive into the game logs, there is notable competition across the board here. In his opening game, over 100 yards against South Dakota State, but continues that against Vanderbilt, Toledo, 59 yards against Iowa, San Jose State, 60 yards, 135 against New Mexico, 103 against Boise State, 98 against Wyoming. And you get the idea. Trey McBride is producing against all levels of competition, including non-conference play, where there were games against Big Ten opponents, SEC opponents. It's all there. Now, from an efficiency perspective, 2.78 yards per route run. That is second in this class behind only Isaiah Likely, and he is far more adept at run blocking, pass blocking than Likely. There's a lot of special teams work on Trey McBride's profile, not really returning, but he played on a coverage unit every single year he was in college, and this is a guy that doesn't have very many major injuries on his profile. Clean bill of health throughout his time at Colorado State. When we look at player comparisons, I'll bring you back to size-adjusted speed over here. He actually compares closely to a guy in Hayden Hurst. And I think that makes a lot of sense early in the draft. It's just how early. Hayden Hurst came off the board in round one, and he largely has not lived up to that hype. So with Trey McBride, does he come off the board early on day two? I think that's probably the case. And if he has a Hayden Hurst ceiling, I would consider that to be a success, but that's just not the type of player you want to draft in round one. When you look at teams that need tight end, I think there's a couple fits. If he goes pretty late on day two, a team like Miami could need some help. They don't have a lot of draft capital, but franchise tag Mike Gesicki, they could be looking for some help down the road. Denver just traded Noah Fant. They pick at 64, 75, and 96. Minnesota, they could use some tight end help. Irv Smith coming off the injury, and they don't have as much depth. They pick at 12, 46, and 77. Even Tampa Bay could be looking for long-term answers, with Gronk still a little unsettled and up there in age in his career, and as well as the Giants, replacing the departure of Evan Ingram. Overall, let me know where you see Trey McBride coming off the board and to what team. I am Matt Gajewski on Twitter at Matt_Gajewski. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next time.